Guys, we're back again, zeroing another huge Asura family player. Cupid Chips walking in with the second rally, and he's sending full range. Gets capped, leader comes home with Bunny and drops him a decent amount. This is actually XX and HAH's target, but because they love to steal our targets whenever they have the opportunity, we decided to come and do the same to them for a change. So that was my first look at the comp. He's in cavalry phalanx with an unhealthy amount of T3. After the first two range rallies, he only has 1.8 mil T4 cav left. And this was on the same day as the 1 billion mic target from YY1 that we zeroed yesterday, if you saw yesterday's video. Is it just me, guys, or are we starting to see a reoccurring theme with huge Asura family players and heavy T3 comps and cavalry phalanx? Has no one told them that you don't want either of these things if you're going to be logging off or taking rallies? Here I'm just scouting Chips to see what troop type he's sending next, and as expected he's going to send Inf. This got me a bit worried, because the situation this morning was that XRX had to send an extra rally to get through his front line and break his reinforcements because no one else wanted to go through that troop loss. And if no one is going to send a rally to break the front line this time, then the exact same thing is going to happen and people are just going to be sitting on timers for ages. HAH coming with another range rally and use Bunny to get their leader back. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to get rid of all the cav, which gives us a bit of a problem. So Brap starts a cavalry rally to be able to take out the last of his cavalry troops and then go on to his infantry. We will probably get capped here, but at least it clears the way for everyone else. But Chips decides to shoulder this responsibility himself and launches his infantry rally into his cavalry, which isn't the best idea, and only Siege walks back, but it does clear the front line. The front line is gone now, which is good for everyone else, but very bad for us, because we now can't launch our cavalry rally without hitting into range. You can see on the scout there's no cavalry troops left. HAH now going in with an infantry rally that should burn him now that there's nothing in the way of it. But surprisingly enough, guys, it's another cap. Doesn't really make sense how Chips can hit into cavalry and infantry and still manage to walk back, but Scotsman hits into range and can't burn him. XIX coming in with the rally now. That really didn't do much at all, but it's not on the board, so it wasn't full. It was very late in Russia during the time of these rallies, so XIX and XRX weren't really able to fill their rallies. Schumacher is also going to get capped, but he does some damage at least. The T2 range is pretty much all gone at this point. Is Chips going to be able to burn him this time though? And he finally burns, guys, but it only drops about 18 mil because Chips hit his infantry instead of his range thanks to the cavalry reinforcements. This means the next infantry rally to hit him is going to do massive damage. Wargear hits him for 115 million might, We still can't release our rally at this point because he's got too much range left. We're going to wait till after the next rally is hit to make sure we don't go into too much range. We won't have to wait long because JD are marching from the bottom of the screen and we'll release right after them. He's already down well over 450 million might at this point and there's still a ton of troops left to go. Going to scout after JD is hit to see how much range is left. There is still some range, but we can't keep waiting to release or he'll be zeroed by the time there's no range left. Sadly, because of the way cavalry phalanx works, infantry rallies that hit him will just keep taking out half the range and then go on to hitting his infantry, so he'll never lose all his range before he's zeroed. That can't be avoided, unfortunately. Panda marches a few minutes later and I'm going to start getting ready to solo. Unfortunately, Panda's rally is infantry, but if it was cavalry, it would have hit his cavalry reinforcements and then taken out the rest of his infantry, which would mean he would be easy enough to solo afterwards, because there would literally just be range left. For the second time today, guys, I'm soloing without looking, and also for the second time today, I have to recall my march because there's too many troops left. There's 4 million troops left after Panda's hit, pretty much all infantry, so that would not have been good for my infantry solo at all. I do try to solo again as quickly as possible, but by this point there are dozens of marches hitting him and there's nothing left. That doesn't stop me from wasting a few thousand gems on hitting fuck all though. So that happened yesterday evening, but the day before that we did another 7 guild rally party. The beginning didn't really go well and we got capped by 300 mil trap with like pretty much full mythic gear. That's on another YouTuber's channel, I'll link him in the description so you guys can go watch that. So after we kind of lost our leaders the first time, oh we didn't get them back by the way, our second lot of rally leaders, we wanted to be a bit more cautious, so we started hitting this next target with leaderless rallies at first. I believe pretty much all of those leaderless rallies were cavalry, and if you were watching the drops and then looking at the results on the kingdom board, you see that he was dropping around 10 million might per rally, but on the board the troop loss only showed about 300k per rally. Now that indicates that our rallies are hitting a T4 front line. That's why the might drops are so big in relation to the troop loss. Now that could mean two things. Either we're hitting someone with pretty much no T2 at all, which is great news because that's an easy composition to burn, or we're hitting a T4 infantry reinforcement trap and hardly doing any damage at all, which is bad because it means he'll be pretty hard to burn on the next round. So all the rallies with leaders start marching at once and he burns right off the bat. Because he's in the forest, he gets ported out and all the other rallies are cancelled. This DJ player is actually in cavalry wedge with not much T2, so that explains why our cavalry rallies were hitting his cavalry formation and doing some damage but not a whole lot of damage. The two rallies that hit him just now were both infantry. First one smoked him, but the second one burned. XIX were the first players to find him after he burned, so they're going to go ahead and send a rally first. Cavalry wedge puts your cavalry troops first, then your infantry, then your range. So until you've got through the other person's infantry, you're not going to be doing that much damage to them even though you're countering them, because it's infantry hitting infantry. XIX's rally hit his cavalry reinforcements, and because he was in war gear, he's able to defend that pretty well. The rally didn't get through any of the reinforcements and he smokes and doesn't drop any might. However, because DJ aren't going to replace the reinforcements, the next rally that hits, which is ours, is going to do a lot of damage. I need a drink, but it's straight from the tap. And I'm hating the slack, couple man slide around like the hate in the gaff. Please stop talking that trash, cause the vibe's in the front all the way to the back. Everyone's kind of racing to get to him first, and we hit first, followed by XVX, then NPS, and then finally GBM cap him. Sadly, that was the only player we managed to zero during that day's rally party. All the others were online and they shielded or ported away. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and be back soon with more content.
Is that light work with the bass on the track, on my face to the back like I'm taking a slap. I need a drink but it's straight from the tap, and I'm hating the slack. Couple man stand around like they hate in the gaff. Please stop talking that trash, cause the vibes in the front all the way to the back.